Hey guys, what is up? Dubhead Spartan here, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been quite a while since we've last met, but as some of you may know, we've had a new premium tank that was unveiled recently, and it looks fairly familiar. This is the Lorraine 40T, previously a tier 9 regular French medium tank, which was previously a tier 8 medium tank before it got moved up to tier 9, and then it got removed and replaced by the Batchat 25T AP. But now it is back in World of Tanks as a tier 8 premium, and I had quite the match in it the other day. Switched to the fixed camera, and so yeah, I had a pretty awesome match in it earlier. This was earlier today, and I wanted to share it with you guys. This match, I'll come out and say it right here. This is the third Radley-Walters medal that I've had in my World of Tanks career. Fortunately, it wasn't a stressful one, you know, because when I got my first Coloban House medal, it was obviously a very stressful environment. But in a replay like this, we had a decent advantage over the team, and it wasn't very stressful. So it was a nice Radley-Walters medal. Now you'll note that the Lorraine 40T off to my left was having some trouble hitting that Skoda. I just kind of picked him off casually. I felt pretty cool right there. And now we're up to 1 kill and about 862 damage. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to poke up on the hill. We're going to get into these bushes and try and spot stuff. And we find a T-29 there. We pull back until the bush in front of us is solid. It didn't work anyway, but we kill him with a blind shot right there, as you saw. Now, I pulled back behind the bush at first because instinct tells me I should be pulling back behind the bush so that when I fire, I don't get spotted. However, the G29 had a bush in front of him as well, so I figured it was probably okay for me to just fire from that regular position instead of pulling all the way back. Sorry, it's kind of late right now, but I figured that I'd record this. It sounded like a good idea. Now I get one shot into the eyes here, and then I bounce the second and get the kill on the third one. And I go for a reload. Now you'll note the Lorraine's reload is about, at least on my tank, 34 seconds. That's with crew skills and a whole bunch of stuff. But without that, it's about 36, I believe. And after watching a couple YouTube videos and guides and everything, and deciding that I wanted to actually buy this tank, because I haven't really played many autolows before, and I thought the new play style would be interesting, and it turned out definitely to be. But what you gotta do is you gotta be very conservative with your health. And by conservative, you can't take hits early on in the game. Like if you lose at over half of your health within the first 5 minutes, you're basically worthless for the rest of it. Because the point of an autoloader is to be able to go in the late stages of a game and be able to take a hit or two in exchange for a large burst damage, in which you basically destroy one enemy vehicle in its entirety. Or alternatively, you can pick off lots of low health targets. We just got the AMX ELC BIS right there. And at some point soon, I don't think I get the M41, but I do pick off the Type 64. Actually, no, I do get the M41 here. Watch this shot. Oh yeah, that was a great shot. And then this one. That was a nice one. that was a nice, that felt really good when I got that kill. Because that meant that that guy wasn't going to get away, and I wasn't going to, like, have to chase him down or some shit across an open field. That would not go well. So, I bought the Lorraine 40T this morning. Of course, I bought it as the lowest price package that I could. I didn't want to spend extra to get extra stuff that comes with it. And I find the UDES, and I don't really have a good shot, so I push up a little bit. I get a shot now, get one in, and then the ISU on the hill finishes him off, which is really good. And what I'm doing here is I am trying to kind of trick the arty into firing, and then once I'm not spotted anymore, I can drive out. Yeah, see? Now if I had stayed there, I would have died. So once you're not spotted, you could then move. The artillery will probably fire at your previous position, but you won't be there anymore. It's a nice tactic for avoiding getting nuked by one of these fuckers up here. No. So now what I want to do is I'm going to attempt to track down the Type 64. But what I'm really worried about is this ISU 152 up here. This guy right here. He's a good player. You know, he's got a better average WN8 than I do. You know. So, and I'm on. I'm on 657 health, and the ISU's gun, the troll cannon, has got 750 average damage. That means most of the time he's going to be able to one-shot me if he penetrates me, which, with the amount of penetration that he has on that gun, he can definitely do with this tank, as the Lorraine is very lightly armored. It only has probably about, I don't know, anywhere from 40 to 60 millimeters. So a little better than the CDC, but still worthless. Anywho, I don't know where this ISU is. He has not been spotted yet this entire match. And judging by the fact that we haven't found him over here, he's likely to be anywhere along this stretch of map over here. So if I go out trying to track the Type 64 and find him aiming at me, I am a dead man. So I don't want to do that. What I instead try to do for a little bit is I know the enemy artillery is either back here or back here. And I know that this train in front of me is going to be likely to... Or no, we know that he's not back here because this guy would have killed him already. So we know that all the enemy artillery is back here, which is why I'm using this train car. And I'm staying so close for cover, as you'll see in a second. Wait for it. There, see? One of the artillery pieces just hit the train in front of me. So that train car just did its job. Now at this point, I've made it to 5 kills and almost 2,600 damage. We're just 1 hit point below that amount. And when I started getting interested in this tank, one thing that I heard a lot of people say is that a lot of people are doing really well in this tank, so it's hard to improve your stats in it, like compared to other people, just because of how good people are doing. So when you compare your statistics, you don't look as good. But as you can see here, I've done about 2,600 damage, and I have made about 3,600 WN8. Just about, 3,653. That's entering like Unicum range. That's actually like good WN8, and I've only done about 2,600 damage. So we're gonna start tracking down this Type 62. Now, when I was going over here at the first, and I was talking about, I don't want to find the ISU, what my plan was is I was going to go straight through here, and this would have left me wide out in the open for this guy to fire at me. But what I'm doing here is I am using these little ridges and hills in these pockets to hide myself from any fire that he may have, or line of sight on here. That he would... I'm hiding myself so more efficiently, so that he can't get an easy shot on me. At the same time, I'm tracking down the Type 62, Type 64. Right. And now we're gonna do a little something dangerous. We're gonna poke up over here, and I try to find the Type 64. We see a tree down just off to our right, but first shot at the ISU-152 misses, second one hits, third one I think hits, and then the GW Panther finishes him off. And I think the second one did hit, because the GW, it didn't actually directly hit him, he's like splashed near him, which probably did a very small amount of damage, but on the amount of health we would have left him on, it's very likely that the splash killed him for that reason. So, our damage counter says we're up to 2,900 damage, but that blind shot probably put us somewhere up to about 3,200. And next we find the Hummel on the enemy team. We low roll our first shot, so we have to take a second one in order to secure the kill on him. And we're up to a Top Gun. And our friendly Lorraine 40T, the other one on our team, says, "Great job, Lorraine." I'm like, "Affirmative." I probably could have said thank you, but I digress. We got our Type 64. We're still tracking this fucker down. And I'm holding my fire here because I've got 2 rounds of ammunition in my clip right now left. And if I fire them off, I'm going to have to go for a reload. And I know that if I hit this guy once, I'll be able to take him out. But what I decide to do is I reload so that my next clip will have enough ammo in it to take out both the Type 64 and Lorraine. But on the other side, on the other hand, if I had kept those 2 rounds in my clip, I could have killed the Type right there. So it's sort of a... It's not like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, but it's iffy, you know? That was a decision that probably could have been avoided. And then we see the Type 64 start going after the GW Panther, but he doesn't actually go over the hill, he just kind of spots him. And then what the Type 64 is doing here is he's kind of poking up and poking his head underneath a train car so he can spot me as he's doing that. And you might have noted that the 2-minute warning bell went off. This is where I started getting to the point where I realized I can get a Radley-Walters out of this. So I start getting a little more aggressive. I go after this Type 64. I'm like, "I want your ass." And we know he's going up the hill. We know he's going to be slow. 1 shot is all it takes, and he's down. We drive forward, and the Lorraine gets spotted. This was a very risky decision. Now, I lived after the Artie shot. I took 438 damage from him. And now, if that had not happened, like if he had penetrated my tank, I would have died. And I would have lost the Radley-Walters medal that I would have been able to get. Or that I was able to get. And so, this was sort of like the woo moment, you know? Like, the last time that I picked up one of these medals was probably about, I don't want to say 6 months ago, but it was a decent amount of time. That was back when I was grinding the Panther 2, and now I've made it all the way to the E50, and I've been that way for a couple months now, so Yeah, it's definitely been a while since my last one. Funnily enough, my first one was in the Skoda T24, and then I got the one in the Panther 2. Both of those replays, I believe, are on my channel a little farther back in my history. But that's when I had my old laptop, and the quality was really, really poor. But yeah, if you're interested, you can go watch them if you dare. So, just a little recap here. We've got ourselves 8 kills. We got 6,739 W8. We were left on 219 health. Thank God. Lorraine didn't kill us at the end there, and we were able to finish him off with the last round. Our damage counter, both the one from the mod pack and the one from World of Tanks, say that we ended this match with about 3,723 damage. However, looking at the results screen after this, I found the actual damage total to be about 4,500. So that means we probably landed about 3 blind shots in there, one of which was an ISU. And I think one of them may have actually been an accidental shot on the Type 64 as we were shooting at the M4A1 Rifle Barize about halfway through the match with about 11 minutes left or so. But to be honest, like, I am extremely glad that I bought this tank. This was the second match that I ever played in it. I had not played an autoloader since I don't know when. I think the last time that I played one was, excuse me, that was the Skoda T25 Czechoslovakian Tier 6. And I researched the TVP VTU, the Tier 8 in that line, about a couple weeks back, so it's been a while since I played that. But I honestly did not expect this tank to be so good. The 4-shot magazine on this thing averages 1,200 damage, and I honestly find it really effective, especially in late game scenarios. I've considered going down the French light tank line because that's what leads to the Batchet 25T AP and then the Batchet 25T, but the light tanks themselves don't have as big or good of a clip as things like the Lorraine, excuse me, and the 2 top-tier mediums in the line. And they also have even less health than this, which is what's sort of discouraging me from doing it, but maybe after the light tank changes come through, I may consider it, because the clip reload will be a little less, and it may be a different play style that I may enjoy. Who knows? I'm on the AMX DLC right now, actually. I'm enjoying it to a point. I've had good matches, I've had bad matches. It's all right for me, at least. But we'll have to see. It's sort of up in the air right now whether I do it or not. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Leave a like below or in a comment if you so desire. Share with your friends, and I will see you all next time.